going up because the public is more aware of the fact that my office will receive these complaints and will process them.
Because anybody can complain, can't they? It can be a victim, a family, even a member of the public.
Yes, indeed. As somebody who's been sitting in court, somebody who's read the newspaper. So, and each one will be looked at in exactly the same way. I mean, obviously, if it's one that we can't deal with, we'll explain and write back to the person concerned why we can't do it. But if we can deal with it, then we will look at it. And we'll look at it whether there are 150 people writing in expressing concern about a sentence or whether one person has written in.
So in your view, do you think sentences have become more lenient over the years?
No, I don't. I think that, on the contrary, for serious offences, the evidence is overwhelming that sentencing has become, in fact, much more severe than it was previously. And I can give you some examples to illustrate that. You remember when Mr. Philpott was sentenced recently for the manslaughter of his children. It was revealed at the end of the case that back in the 1970s he had a conviction for the attempted murder of his girlfriend, where he had received a sentence of 7 years imprisonment for stabbing her repeatedly with the intention of killing her. I recently referred a case to the Court of Appeal of a very similar character. And that was where the judge had given a sentence of 18 years imprisonment, and I actually got that sentence changed to one of an indeterminate sentence for public protection and a 15-year minimum tariff, which is, as you can see, is very much higher than what was being given 30 years ago.
Well, one case that's fresh in all of our minds, I appreciate the figures that we're talking about today relate to 2012, but obviously this summer we've been hearing the story of Stuart Hall, who has obviously been charged for 14 assaults on young girls, one of them only 9 years old, yet he only received 15 months in prison.
Well, I have to explain, I can't comment on the Stuart Hall case. As you know, a complaint has been made to my office, and we're looking at that. We have a 28-day period from the date on which he was sentenced. I think that comes to an end on the 15th of July. And before that date, I will have made a decision. And that decision is either to make a reference to the Court of Appeal, or if I were to determine that there were no basis for making a reference, I would explain in public the reasons for my decision. So I can't comment on that particular case. Of course, I'm aware there has been public disquiet. We had about 150 people who have written in about it. So it will be considered in exactly the same way and very carefully by myself. And ultimately, it's my decision or that of my Deputy, the Solicitor General, as to whether a reference is made or not.